Rashid Shaheed.
Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans.
This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick.
All live from the capital of the Commonwealth,
where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first.
If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Wednesday morning. We are back in our home studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us on Fitz the Bill 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and of course, ESPNRichmond.com. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream live. You can be part of it by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And, of course, you can be part of the show by calling or texting into the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. Head to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today as we are back in our home studios. It feels like it's been a long time. I mean, I guess it has been a full week since we've been back in the home studios. Since then, I called a national championship win for the University of Mary Washington, watched the Final Four in a beautiful suite up there, thanks to the NCAA. No bad words for me coming towards the NCAA now. Of course, I'm joking. I still got a couple of bones to pick throughout with what the NCAA is doing, but I saw the Final Four up there, was in person for the national championship as well. We took yesterday off due to the weird travel schedule that it took to get home back here to Virginia, because the Indianapolis airport was so overrun with people. I mean, probably over 100,000 people all flying out of Indianapolis yesterday. We ended up having to bus all the way down to Cincinnati and then fly home from Cincinnati. That was the only way to really get a clean flight home. But it was a fantastic trip. It was an awesome time. The Final Four is a complete experience that it's needed to be attended. If you are a sports fan, you need to attend the Final Four at least once. And don't listen to social media with people who are like, why would you even get a 400 section seat to go to the Final Four? You could watch it better at home. The experience being in there is fantastic. Plus, if you were looking at the ticket reseller sites like StubHub, Game Time, whatever, SeatGeek, whatever it might be, the get-in price for the national championship game itself, probably in part because Illinois lost, but the get-in price was like $50 or something, a very affordable ticket when it comes to championships, right? Like the Super Bowl's over $1,500. The World Series is always expensive. NBA Finals always expensive. The national championship, a pretty darn affordable ticket to get into. Now, like I said, if Illinois had won, that may have been a little bit different. But if it was Illinois, Michigan, I mean, it would have been an expensive ticket because Illinois outnumbered UConn in that first Final Four game, probably 70% Illinois fans, 30% UConn fans. And then UConn got the same treatment in the national championship game. Michigan was probably outweighing them 70-30 as well. I mean, it was a lot of maize and blue in the stands in the national championship game. But man, what a trip. It was an honor to be able to call Mary Washington's first ever D3 national championship win. It was a fantastic game. We broke it all down. We talked about it with head coach Marcus Kahn, with the 804 product, the hero Colin Mitchell on Monday. If you want to go back and if you want to listen to those interviews, just head on over to YouTube, type in Fitz the Bill, ESPN Richmond or ESPN RVA in the search bar, and you can find the Fitz the Bill YouTube channel where we post a lot of our interviews and a lot of things like that. So what a trip, what a time. And that does lead us into the national championship game, Alan, because taking yesterday off, we were unable to react. So in good Fitz the Bill fashion, a little belated here, but national championship was a shockingly good game. I was wrong on many occasions about UConn. I had UConn losing early. I had them in the round of 32, I think it was, exiting the NCAA tournament. What'd they do? They end up going on a run, getting all the way to the national championship, of course. And every single step of the way, I doubted them. Duke, they weren't going to beat Duke. They did. Illinois, they weren't going to beat Illinois. They did. Against Michigan, they held a lead for parts of the first half, and they put together some runs in the second half. And look, They should have won this game against Michigan. They had 68 field goal attempts. Michigan had 55. UConn had 22 offensive boards. Shockingly, UConn dominated the rebounding game, specifically the offensive rebounding game, gave the Huskies a ton of second chance opportunities, but they just couldn't come through. They had 13 more shots than Michigan, if you're keeping track at home, and you still lost by 6 because they shot 31% from the floor, 30.9% if we're being exact. Historically bad for a title game. There is a case to be made that if they shot, 32, 33% from the floor, just a couple of percentage points better, just a couple of more made shots, they could have won this game. They started some 0 of 11 from three-point land in the second half. It was UConn's game to win, but Michigan was able to withstand it, and Michigan came out on the better end.
Yeah, if Yaxel Lindenberg was healthy, they probably would have blown them out.
Yeah, I mean that part. Yeah,
especially considering how bad UConn shot. Yaxel was not nowhere near his 19, 20 points per game average that he typically has. No. But UConn had a great game plan. Like Coach Hurley, for all his hysterical and nutsy ways, he's a very good tactician. And during his first timeout or interview, he said, this is our only chance to win. And he's right. Muck the game up, slow the pace down, shorten the space on the court, right? There were not a lot of lanes for Michigan to drive. And if you think about all the games leading up to that, even against Arizona, Michigan was having their way getting to the basket one way or another, whether it was the big man or whether it was the guards. There was always a lane for somebody to come into. UConn did a great job of shutting that down and forced them into some really bad shots.
Yeah, 100%. And they slowed it down in a big, they took a page out of what Purdue did in the Big Ten championship game. 65 total possessions in this game, the lowest since Michigan's loss to Purdue in the Big Ten title game when there was 63. If you're beating Michigan, you are slowing it down. You're not letting their stars play a clean game. And that's what UConn did. They just could not hit their shots. And they did do a good job of forcing Michigan into some tough shots.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is Michigan still had 36 points in the paint and UConn only had 22. Yeah. They still got outscored by 14 in the paint.
And credit to Dusty May for realizing the ebb and flow of the game. I know people think momentum isn't a real thing, but when they started full court pressing UConn, it sped them up.
Yes.
And even though I think in their mind they were not going faster, you can go back and look, the tempo changed. And that's when Michigan started getting a little bit more separation, and then Hurley would pull them back, right? And they would come back again, but then they get pressed and they go right on back to that little run, then they pull it back. So it was actually a great X and O chess match between two really good coaches.
I mean, it was a fantastic X and O breakdown with it. Those were the two best coaches we have in our game right now. And I don't think that is a crazy thing to say. Hurley is the best coach in college basketball. You may hate him for his antics, and that's totally fair to hate him for his antics because he has a ton of outbursts on the sidelines, right? But he is still one of the greatest coaches that we've ever seen, and he's the best coach in college basketball right now. And, oh, by the way, Dusty May is right there behind him, taking FAU to a Final Four a couple of years ago and now turning around Michigan. Michigan was an 8-win team prior to him getting there. The Juwan Howard era ended in a complete dumpster fire. He put it out and he rebuilt that team in an instant. He hit the transfer portal really hard. He got some really good guys to come in like Yaxel, like Mara. I mean, Elliot Cadeau, the most outstanding player of the Final Four. What was he last year? He was a bad shooting guard from UNC. When he entered the transfer portal, UNC fans rejoiced
of bad coaching.
Yeah, clearly, because he comes to Michigan and he balls out. He has 19 points in the title game. He goes 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. A really well-balanced game from Elliot Cadeau. What did he do against Illinois? He had some. I mean, he was the one that executed this weird new play Dusty May wanted to institute, which was throw it off the backboard and let Mara go up there and get it.
Yeah.
And that's what Michigan was. And it was a very, very good game for Michigan because there were multiple times that I thought things could unravel for them, where UConn pulled them back in a little bit, and UConn, especially in the arena, right? You could feel Michigan fans get a little tense at points in the second half. Like you said, Dusty May kind of felt that, called timeout, and was able to just.
UConn was never out of the game, and you always worry, especially when you start missing free throws down the stretch, when a team has been within 6 points, 7 points.
There it is.
Yeah, no. Whenever they're that close, there's always the worry that they could come back, because all it takes, and we saw a couple UConn shots, banked in three and things like that. When stuff like that starts happening in March, you get worried.
Yeah, the bank shot literally was just like,
yeah,
here it comes.
Yeah,
and who knows? Yaxel was hurt, of course. Solo Ball was also hurt, but more importantly, you could tell the foot injury was impacting him because he was slow on some of his defensive sets, which is the reason why he picked up 4 fouls early on in the second half, and he had to sit
position a lot.
Like that one really weighed on him. Where I wish we could have seen a fully healthy Yaxel and a fully healthy Solo Ball, because I think the game would have been a lot more intriguing, but it was a very solid basketball game. And congrats to Michigan. There was a couple of points this season, the Big Ten championship game, right, where it was like, all right, maybe Purdue figured out the blueprint. They lost to Duke on that neutral court. They lost to Wisconsin at home early on the season. It was like, all right, this is the best team in the nation, but they have a couple of head-scratching losses or losses that make you go, maybe they aren't the best. And then what they do in the NCAA tournament, they blew out Howard, they blew out St. Louis, they blew out Alabama, they blew out Tennessee, they blew out Arizona, stuffed them in a locker,
they
closed it, pulled them out, stuffed them back in again. Jeez Louise. And then they had a really, really good team win against UConn. Michigan is one of the better basketball teams we have seen in quite some time.
No, they definitely deserve all the accolades, and of course, being the champion. In the fashion in which they really did dominate March all the way up until the very end. And UConn was probably the best team to give them a run for their money, all things considered, just because of the grit and the tactician that they have at coach. So it was well deserved, and I'm sure people will eventually get back to poking holes in it, because that's what we do in sports. Nobody's ever perfect. There's always, well, they're not this team, they're not that team. They're the best team of this current era, and we'll see what they can do next year as a program. Shout out to the Big Ten. I had to listen to it with Lake yesterday because he's a proud Penn State alum. But yes, they are now officially the new Conference of Champions, essentially. And I made a joke about it because they took in the Pac-12 teams. But yeah, UCLA women, they're Big Ten. Indiana in football, they're Big Ten. And then Michigan last night. So I don't know if they got a good baseball team. I think they're in to win hockey. I think Michigan's got a chance to win the hockey national championship.
The Big Ten always good at hockey. The one sport they don't have is baseball. That will always be run by the SEC.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's concern if you're an SEC fan.
But look, I mean, baseball not really a revenue sport, right? I mean, the SEC is dominating every major revenue sport.
Big Ten.
Yeah, so the Big Ten is dominating every major revenue sport. The Big Ten is now the Conference of Champions, unfortunately. They were waiting to get that final Thanos with the Infinity Stones, right? They had them all, and they were just waiting for the men's basketball one. Now what? He can snap, and everything's perfectly balanced, whatever he says. I've never seen Infinity War, so I don't really know Thanos all that well, but I know he collects Infinity Stones, and I know that the Big Ten has been collecting Infinity Stones. Look, we got there, but now Michigan poised, and the rest of the Big Ten poised. Illinois had a really good run, and you look at this roster now. Yaxel, of course, he's a senior. I mean, he's been in college basketball since the year 2020, so he's gone. But Elliot Cadeau, if he wants to say he's a junior, he's got more eligibility. Morez Johnson's a sophomore. Mara's a junior. LJ Cason, their really good backup guard coming off the bench. He got hurt at the end of the season. He's a sophomore. He could come back and he could have a huge impact because that was a big injury going into the postseason. Did not matter. They did not need him. So kind of scary to think about what's to come. The only real minute getters they're going to be losing because of eligibility is Yaxel Lendenborg and Namari Burnett. Outside of that, they can return a lot of heavy minute getters, which is a scary, scary proposition. But Michigan gets the win. Michigan is poised to be a solid team for years and years to come. All right, coming up on today's show, we've got a great one. Kelvin Gilliam, Highland Springs standout. He played the last couple of years at Virginia Tech. He's getting ready for the NFL draft. He'll be joining us in hour number 2 at around 9:15 to talk all about the draft prep. Really excited to catch up with KG at about 9:15, hour number 2. You don't want to miss it. Also in hour number 2, we've got Rob from Birdie Golf joining us, as well as Rob from Green Ferret Golf, talking about the Birdie Classic. You've heard about it a lot coming up. That's this Saturday. We'll talk with Rob about the upcoming event. We'll talk about with the other Rob from Green Ferret Golf about why he wanted to partner up with it. That's coming up at about 9:30 as well. Let's go out to the phone lines here in hour number 1 to kick things off. We've got Dolphin Dave. Good morning, Dolphin Dave. How we doing?
Hey, good morning. I think your caller in crime there's probably tired of listening to me because I called Lewis's show last night. And I got a little long-winded. I will not do that with you today. Listen, SEC, first coming from where I come from, upstate New York, college wasn't huge. Pros we didn't have, Syracuse was the only named school that you really had up there that had serious athletics. And I was 3.5 hours away from Syracuse, so it never really embedded in me. But the one thing I did see when I came down here, besides seeing how much people love college football and love college basketball, especially football, was the fact that I think because I hate to say this because I don't love the NIL or the transfer portal, but I think that's what made everything more even, at least for the big conferences. There was conjecture the SEC, especially a certain team with a big A in front of it, was, paying their players before that ever happened. And their coach, one of the reasons he left is that when the playing field got even, he couldn't go ahead and just rub roughshod and get all the good players. So I'm just saying the fact that I think the one thing, there are some good things the NIL has done. Don't love it, all of it, but I think some stuff good. But the one thing I think it evened the playing field. You got people that can compete. Everybody can compete for the good players. So that's just what I wanted to say. But I've never been an SEC fan, and I've always hated Alabama.
You're right. I mean, the transfer portal, everything coming out into the sunlight is why the Big Ten is able to catch up. You'd be kidding yourself if you thought the Big Ten was playing by the rules the entire time. Like Michigan was breaking some rules. Michigan State was breaking some rules. All the Big Ten powers were probably breaking rules, but I don't think they were breaking them. And of course, this is all just from the outside looking in. I don't have any inside knowledge on this, but the SEC was breaking rules a lot. They just weren't getting caught. Neither were the Big Ten schools, but they were doing it at such a higher clip that they were able to have so much more success, specifically in football. And then when the rest of the world could kind of catch up, and Michigan and Michigan State, I don't know why I keep bringing up Michigan State, Ohio State, all those guys, they kind of knew what the landscape was like. They could get in, they could offer more because look, the Big Ten has very wealthy alumni that want to see their teams win. And so you see it then with them getting better teams. And now that we are year 5-ish into this NIL transfer portal era, I think the gap's going to continue widening between the Big Ten and the SEC. People talk about this Power 2 conference that could potentially break off in the next couple of years, specifically 2030 when all these media rights deals are up, with the Big Ten, the SEC taking their ball and leaving. If the SEC doesn't step up here in the next couple of years in football and men's basketball, it could be a Power 1 conference where the Big Ten just decides who they want, when they want, how much they're going to give them, and they'll create their own super conference and leave some of the SEC schools in the dust. The Big Ten is by far the best conference in college sports.
It is now, and SEC was for a long time ago, but the SEC I always thought also had, so I hate to say this, money does cure some things, and the SEC had a geographical edge too, and that geographical edge was the fact, hey, would you like to come down here? And even the guys that were recruits would say, we would get recruited by, let's say, a Florida as opposed to an Ohio State. Ohio State was nice, but the girls were a lot prettier and they were in their halter tops. I hate to say this, when late in the fall when they were bundled up in north. But then when you got money thrown into it, I hate to say that kind of throws that thought process away. Now it's like, where am I going to get paid? Where am I going to get paid the most? And everything else is where am I going to play?
Yeah.
So, I thought there was a big geographical, for the SEC, big geographical edge. And I think that's gone away also. I think it's now like, everybody can compete with the money.
100%. Everyone can compete, and you're just going to go where you're wanted and where you can get the most money. And the Big Ten, they've been doing that, and they've been able to close that gap and now surpass the SEC. But Dolphin Dave, appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your day.
Guys.
There goes Dolphin Dave. Always appreciate Dolphin Dave calling in. And I mean, yeah, the transport of the NIL, that is why the Big Ten is where it's at. That's why the Big Ten is able to now surpass the SEC, and why the Big Ten is able to win its first men's basketball NCAA championship since 2000 when Michigan State did it. So staying in basketball real quick, we had a couple of coaching news and nuggets things popping through. Richmond women's basketball head coach Aaron Roussel was hired away by UVA yesterday. So Richmond women's basketball will begin a search for a new coach.
Shock face. I don't know why I missed that. Where was I at?
Man, yeah, where were you at? Yeah, Aaron Roussel's he's headed to UVA. Bummer for Richmond. Yeah, real big bummer. Aaron Roussel, one of the greatest great guy, great A10 coach. UVA hit a home run though. He's going to have tremendous success at UVA.
UVA, you can't take VCU's coach and then Richmond's women's coach. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like we excused Odom and we were like, good for him, good for UVA. Now you're taking a guy from Richmond. I feel like this is personal.
Did you see what happened with the UVA the last coach?
I did loosely follow that. I assumed something had happened for her to get as far as she did, do what she did, and still get fired.
Yeah, there's some stuff coming out. Like apparently.
Hold that thought. Because when we talk about Mike Malone, I'm going to take you through a timeline that shows that he also has some issues.
All right.
Having been fired after great success.
Yeah, I'll hold that thought then. Yes. And then, so Roussel's headed to UVA. Congratulations to him. I think he's going to have tremendous success there. I think he'll be in the running for national championships.
I wish him the best, but also, I don't know. I still feel like I gotta go talk to Carla.
Yeah, she's poaching Richmond a little too hard.
Personally attacked.
And then for Virginia Union, Sean Robertson of CBS 6 reporting sources, Virginia Union's Jay Butler is the front runner to be the new men's basketball coach at Winston-Salem State, who stole Union's women's basketball head coach last year, Tiara Terry, who then went on, and she's a Winston-Salem State alum, so I get it. But then she went on to be one of the best coaches in the CIAA last year, was like one of the front runners to be coach of the year, was the CIAA coach of the year. And now they're dipping their toes back in the water. And right now, Jay Butler is the front runner to be the new men's basketball coach at Winston-Salem State. Sean Robertson of CBS 6 reporting the deal is not finalized, but it's close to being done. Butler has been the head coach at Union since 2015, his alma mater, and won the CIAA title in 2018. Made it to the NCAA tournament this year and won an NCAA tournament game. So some coaches leaving the 804 here over the next couple of weeks, which is a bummer. Two really good coaches. Our city. For real. All right, let's get a break in. We'll step aside. We'll be back with a little Masters talk. Hello, friends. We're getting ready to hear that later on this week. That's coming up next on Fitz the Bill.
If you want to talk Braves baseball,
here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
There's only one place in town to turn for all the action. 106.1 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
High in the air, deep to left field. That's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park and Go.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
It's bow time. Remember those bologna biscuits you grew up on? Well, they're back and better than ever at Bojangles. Bite into a Southern tradition with our new fried bologna biscuit. It's a thick slice of savory bologna seared and served hot off the griddle on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And right now, you can get 2 of them for just $5. But hurry in. This deal is only available for a limited time, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
Masters Tournament PGA Leaderboard updates live on 106.1 ESPN, presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Street legal, low-speed vehicles. Schedule a test drive today at richmondlsv.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
106.1 ESPN traffic.
Seeing some backup heading west on 64 between Mckinnessville Turnpike and 95 interchange. Just be aware of some delays heading north on Palahai Parkway between Midlothian Turnpike and Chippenham Parkway. And there's been a crash heading north on 288 just before Patterson Avenue.
On the Tuesday Sports Huddle, what else? A recap of the national championship game between Michigan and UConn. And all eyes on the college basketball transfer portal, which is officially open for business. Join Matt Josephs and me, Bob Black, for the Tuesday Sports Huddle, 4 to 6 on 106.1 ESPN.
Every headline sounds different when you explain what it actually means. That's the Sports Huddle with Matt and Bob, weekdays 4 to 6 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
They do the Masters so well. It's such a good event.
No, it's beyond a good event. Like, we need to put into perspective what the Masters is. This event is so big that it defies logic. It will tell the networks what it will do.
It does. When I worked at CBS.
Yes. And if the network doesn't agree, guess what? It doesn't affect the Masters. They're still going to do what they want to do.
So if you ever sit back and you're watching CBS golf coverage on a non-Masters week and you're like, man, they've got a lot of freaking commercials. It's because the Masters does not let them air as many commercials as they want. So they
can get away with that.
And they have to squeeze it in. It is a Masters produced event. It's if you're ever watching it and you're like, man, the greens are really green and there's always birds chirping. Most people know it by now, but they pump in bird noises into the broadcast. If you are at Augusta National, you do not hear the birds. There are no birds. And Augusta National goes, you have to play birds on our broadcast to make it sound like it's this lively, nice little, the dew is still on the grass and you hear the birds chirping as you tee off as the sun rises.
I mean, it's his own thing.
It's such a good event.
And I've grown to respect that. Like the ability to be able to do that. Like it defies logic. Even the NFL doesn't tell the networks what to do.
No. In a way, the networks kind of tell the NFL at times what to do. Yeah. But it's Masters Week. Stay tuned to 106.1 ESPN for leaderboard updates of the Masters Tournament live from Augusta, presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Schedule a test drive today for street legal, low-speed vehicle at richmondlsv.com. I want to start here in Fitz the Bill fashion and talk about the Masters dinner last night.
Yeah, I saw a tweet on it, but I didn't look into it.
Whew, man. So this is what they served, right? It was the most expensive Masters dinner in the history of Masters dinners. It was nearly double the amount it was per person from last year. It was estimated to be around $320 per head, and that is double what it was last year.
Who's footing the bill?
Who's fitting the bill? Augusta.
All right, well then go for it.
Augusta. So this was the menu: appetizers, peach and ricotta flatbread, rock shrimp tempura, bacon wrap dates with goat cheese, and grilled elk sliders with caramelized onion jam. Oh,
you said bacon wrap, so it's got to be good.
Oh my goodness. So Rory went all out with this, not just with the food, but with the wine. He had an extensive wine selection, including a 1989 Chateau de Kim that runs at about $650 per bottle. The money really came in for the wine portion of it. The mains were either a filet mignon or a salmon. Almost everyone picked the steak, of course, but Rory McIlroy did an interview about his menu. This was what Rory McIlroy said about why his menu was so extravagant and why he didn't go more Irish with it, because the Irish are known for blood sausages and whatever. This is what Rory McIlroy had to say.
But also wanted it to be something that all the other people in that room would enjoy as well. People keep asking me, why didn't you go more Irish? And I said, because I want to enjoy the dinner as well.
Yeah, he didn't want to go potatoes and everything with it. So instead, he went with yellowfin tuna carpaccio with foie gras and a toasted baguette as his first course, Wagyu filet mignon or a seared salmon. Patrick Reed said he took the steak. He said, quote, "I'm a Texan. It's always steak." And then the dessert was an Irish dessert, sticky toffee pudding. That sounds good. That sounds good. Everyone was there except for two people. It was Tiger and it was Phil. Tiger missed it due to his DUI arrest in Florida a couple of weeks ago. Phil did not attend due to what he said was a family illness. This was Tiger's third absence since 2021. But what a menu. I wish I could have been in there for that. Rock shrimp tempura sounds so good.
Texter said the hosting winner pays for the winner's dinner.
The hosting winner?
Yeah, so Rory paid for that last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you, Texter.
No, everybody there can afford it. It wasn't that it was a price thing, but typically if you're paying...
Hot take, Augusta National should pay for that.
Hot take, as we just discussed, Augusta doesn't do those kind of things.
You're right.
You're going to do it one way or another. They will literally tell you, then you just won't have a dinner.
Yeah.
I can imagine that would be their response.
Now, it makes sense why Scotty Scheffler's dinner was like hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, it's plain like him. Now, he had a pretty good one. Like that ribeye was definitely fire.
Well, was it last year or 2 years ago, though, that the menu was just like burgers?
I can't remember. I know that when Matsuyama won, there was some confusion on some of the dishes.
Yeah.
But it's one of the cool things about the event, that they can do that and past winners get to come and eat and enjoy and things like that. It's pretty cool.
So they had extensive wines, a really, really great wine list, champagne.
That would have been me.
The $650 bottle, everything like that. Guess what Scotty Scheffler drank?
A beer?
Water. Only water, according to the people who are there.
That's my Scotty.
Oh, goodness gracious. Scotty Scheffler. There was a picture of Scotty Scheffler that surfaced earlier today from one of his press conferences in the lead up to the Masters. Someone said he looks like the oldest 29-year-old in the world, and he truly does. This man is balding so hard. He needs to just get that thing cut. He just needs to go full bald.
Hey, if he's locked in enough to skip the wine and drink water, I might have to put a little bit of money on my boy Scotty.
And that's why he's plus 500 right now.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Why he has no value whatsoever.
He's 5-1 because he's locked in.
He is minus 186 to make the top 10.
You guys are here to do dinner, and I'm just looking at the menu.
I mean, that's true.
Go ahead, Scotty.
But Rory tees off tomorrow morning. He's in a group with Cam Young and Mason Howell. Can he go back to back? Right now,
No.
he's plus 1,200.
Do we know how? Let's be honest,
Yes,
man.
hit me.
It took a miracle essentially for him to win it.
Yes, and we have not seen a repeat winner since 2001, 2002. And guess who did it? Tiger frickin' Woods.
Yeah.
Even Scotty couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Scotty's the greatest golfer of this generation.
And just because we said that, watch Rory win.
Yeah, watch him just like go out and shoot like a 67.
With the bad
first round.
back and all.
He's got a bad back. Colin Morikawa's got a bad back. Some of the big names.
My boy Zalatoris has got a bad back.
Zalatoris.
He's not even in it.
What happened to him?
He's been injured.
I know what happened. Like he's so young.
I know he just can't catch a break. The ankle, the back, and hasn't had enough time to really play. And he would have been one of my guys. I pick him all the time just because I think his debut he finished top 10.
Yeah.
He was close around that. Like he had a really good debut.
He plays the Masters really well.
And I think he's a Georgia guy, which is kind of an angle that I'm looking at this year as well. If you're looking to cap the Masters, understand experience is a premium, right? There guys who have played this course, even if they've missed cuts, I would prefer a couple missed cuts over somebody that's playing it for the first time.
100%.
And that's why Tiger's always in play when he comes back, because people there's some mystique behind it. And it's a lot of history with it.
Yeah.
People who've played before are typically more comfortable. And then the premium stat I would look at is approach shots. Yes, it'd be great if you can drive the ball really far. I mean, we all love that. Distance is always good, but you got to have touch. But
that's why
you got to have touch at Augusta, man.
That's why DeChambeau never really does all that well here, because he does not have touch.
Yeah,
and
you got to have touch.
He just blasts it. And another thing to keep an eye out for when you're trying to pick who's going to win is recent form. 9 of the last 10 winners of the Masters had a top 10 in their previous 3 starts.
That's why my long shot is Sepp Straka. I'll just go ahead and really feel that.
What's his odds? He's got to be like 50 to 1.
80 to 1. He's
80 to 1.
He's a Georgia guy. He missed the cut last year. I don't think he's
I
don't think he's ever had a top 10 at Augusta, but he's played in the last 4, I believe. I think he came in 2022. But he's also had a couple top 10 finishes in the last month. He missed the cut at I think Valero, but I think he was T6 or T8 in his 2 before that. I think he's a sneaky play as a long shot, and that's why he's going to be my top long shot guy. But I can't ever see Brooks Koepka in a tournament and not pick him when it's a major. He's always been my guy.
He does rise up to the challenge.
He's always been my guy. I don't know how he's going to look. I'm not going to lie to you.
The Live golf guys are interesting because now that Live has gone to the 72-hole format, they're now maybe not completely back to being used to it, but going to the 72-hole format, they are now more – they got better stamina. Because, let's face it, when they were playing just the 2 days of golf prior to this season of Live Golf, they would get tired on day 3, day 4, and then they'd always fade on Sunday. So keep an eye on Rahm. Keep an eye on. Well, I guess Koepka's come back to the PGA
he's
now.
He's come back to the PGA.
But
he's what I would call he's at the cusp of a mid tier right now. 45 to 1 is what I'm seeing. On the website. I always do tiers when I'm looking at cap and golf. So guys who are under 20 to 1 would be tier 1. So that's Scotty, DeChambeau, Rahm, McIlroy, Schauffele, Oberg, even though it's got an A in it. Those guys are under 20 to 1. So I would pick somebody from that group. And then between the 20 and 40 to 1 range, I would pick somebody from that group. 45 to 60 would be my mid tiers. And then I go long shots. Long shots is anybody 70 to 1 or higher.
Okay.
And you can never be wrong on a long shot. It's literally why they're there. They're long shots.
You just hope you maybe get a little value. Maybe you can cash out on them on Saturday after they make the cut or something like that.
My favorite thing to do, take a long shot like Sepp Straka to win, and then hedge it with him having a top 10 or top 20 finish, because there's value in that as well.
1,000%. I like Robert McIntyre as well in this one. I think he's a solid guy. Really, he's more of that mid-range, middle-tier guy that you were mentioning, but he was runner-up at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, T7 at the Open Championship, 4th at the Players last month. He has rose up to big occasions as of late. He's a good driver. He has a good putter, and he has a left-to-right ball flight, which I think fits Augusta. So he's another guy that could rise up the leaderboards and be in contention on Sunday. Because Scheffler took a couple of weeks off with the birth of his second child. And so I'm not saying that his mind's out of it or anything like that. But like I said earlier, 9 of the last 10 winners had top 10 finishes in their previous 3 starts. You want to see a guy with recent form. Rory's, he's taken the last couple of weeks off with his bad back. Scotty has taken the last couple of weeks off with the birth of his son. Colin Morikawa has been dealing with the back injury. Some of the big names, Bryson DeChambeau never really plays well at Augusta. Maybe he's figured it out, but you said it. You need that touch. Bryson DeChambeau doesn't really have that touch. Some of the big names that are flirting around that tier 1 that you've got, I think do have huge question marks heading into it, which could leave the door open for a Sepp Straka, for an unknown to rise up the leaderboards and be in contention on Sunday.
Yeah, so out of the tier 1s, I want to trust Schauffele and Rahm the most right now. The thing with having a new child, as most people would know, it's your routine. And we're talking golfers, they're creatures of habit.
We're talking Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, so it's the routine that you got to get adjusted to. Like, I'm sure there's been some sleepless nights and things like that, and his schedule has changed a little, and there's added stress. So some people, sometimes it makes them play better, but there is an adjustment period. Anybody that's on under 10-1 always is a fade until they get like +3, and then you put some money on them live type thing. But Xander has great history, I believe, at Augusta. I've always thought he would put a green jacket on at some point. He has had moments where he can't close. And I personally have never given up on Jon Rahm. Before Scotty hit the scene, Jon Rahm was dominating the PGA.
Oh, I remember.
Before he went to live. Now,
he was dominant around right after Dustin Johnson's run of a bunch of great finishes. Then it was Rahm who took over.
And the thing with Rahm is he's a very emotional guy, like my guy Tyrrell Hatton. But he's super talented. He's the type of guy, he's got to get the juices flowing, right? Like if it's competitive golf and he's locked in, he really is one of the best in the world. I think he was one of the guys that actually got hurt by the casual play of Live.
Yes.
And hopefully with them returning to like 72 or even just him having such a down year like last year, he's got it back. Because again, when he's in top form, I really think he could go toe to toe with Scotty any day of the week.
You mentioned Schauffele, and you said, I think he's good at, he's been dominant at Augusta as of late.
He can't close.
He can't finish, but he's finished in the top 10 in 5 of the past 7 years.
Yeah.
And then in other majors, he has had really, really good finishes. 3rd in the Players' Championship in March and last year. He won in Japan, top 12 performances in both the U.S. Open and the Open, and was part of the Ryder Cup team.
You know what his issue is? It's crazy to say, but typically it's the putter that doesn't fit. When you talk about approach shots, that's always been like one of his strengths.
Yeah.
The thing that made Tiger so special at Augusta, I think, is that he was always a maestro and creative, right? Like if you got golfers who have that brain where most people would see something and want to lay up, but they see it and they can get it on the green, like that kind of creativity is underrated in a tournament like this. Scotty has that. It just doesn't look like it looks with Tiger, but like we've seen Scotty make shots that most people would have just given up on. He makes it look easy.
Scotty's a freak of nature.
Rahm, when he's on, has done the same thing. Rory, when he's on, I think when you talk about these tier 1 guys, that's what separates them from everybody else, and that's why their odds are where they are. In the second tier, I'm going to tell everybody now, please don't fall for the Tommy Fleetwood thing.
I will fall for it. I will continue falling for it. Tommy Fleetwood needs to finally win.
He's a great golfer. But
I will always fall for the Fleetwood. I will always have faith in my guy Tommy, and I'll always have faith in my guy Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, every big tournament he's on.
Yes,
he's on somebody's win.
And he's always flirting with the top of the leaderboard come Sunday, and then he always falls apart. But this year feels different.
Always
now.
the bridesmaid.
Never the bride.
Yeah.
We'll keep talking Masters in hour number 2, so stay with us. We're going to get a break in. We've got news or snooze coming up next on Fitz the Bill.
Experience fun in a street-legal electric low-speed vehicle from Bintelli. Now available for cruising in your neighborhood from Richmond LSV. Our LSVs come with a Virginia license plate, lithium battery, Bluetooth, and much more. Follow us on social media, Richmond LSV. Schedule a test drive today. Text 804-363-4351 or email info@richmondlsv.com. Fun, fully charged.
This is advertising material. Hi, this is John from your insurance company. We received your claim, and we're denying your coverage.
They think you'll give up. They're wrong. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys have made insurance companies pay over $2 billion. It's your turn. They fight while you heal. Over 250,000 clients. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys. Call now for a free consultation. 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Richmonders love Pella Virginia, and it's easy to see why. Pella gives you more, so you can feel confident choosing us for your window and door projects. While other companies may offer just 1 or 2 options, Pella has a full range: wood, vinyl, and fiberglass, so you get quality and customization, not just a quick fix. When you choose Pella, we'll handle everything from order to installation. Right now, get 50% off qualifying installations or 0% APR for 48 months. Find out more at PellaVirginia.com. Some restrictions apply.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
John Starks, we're watching the NBA Finals. It's Knicks and the Rockets, and they take us away to the OJ chase. Yeah. Did you guys know anything about that as players?
When we came back in for halftime, we go into the locker room, we sitting down, and Coach Riley going over his speech, and it was like, wah, wah, wah. We weren't even trying to hear all that. We why are they chasing OJ?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
1061 ESPN weather.
Expect clear skies today with cooler temperatures, highs reaching 58 degrees later this afternoon, and lows tonight dropping back down to 34. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies again with a high of 65 and lows of 38.
If you want more than just the score, you'll find it here. The Sports Huddle with Bob and Matt, weekdays 4 to 6.
News. Extra, read all about it.
Or snooze.
Little news or snooze this morning. Mixed bag news or snooze. You even snuck in I see some NFL stuff in here.
A little NFL, a little college, and a little NBA. We got it all. It's that time of year, man.
I got a special news thing for you at the end too, NBA related.
Ooh.
All right, Mavs dispute claim they aired with Reeves MRI.
Let's go with snoozeworthy. Of course, they said that they're disputing the fact that JJ Redick. Well, do you remember this report? 4 days ago? All my days are running together after all that time in Indianapolis. But Austin Reeves got that injury right after Luka got his, and JJ Redick claimed that the Mavericks medical team examined the wrong part of Austin Reeves' body when the guard received an MRI by Dallas's staff over the weekend. The Mavericks are now disputing that, saying, quote, our medical team followed standard imaging protocols based on the information provided at the time. There was no error in the scan performed.
You got to read it like that. That's probably how it sounds.
That is how it sounded. Look, good snoozeworthy. Of course, do you really think that Mavericks team would come out and be like, you're right, hand up, that's on us. We looked at his left leg. It was supposed to be the right leg. And this is in the wake of everything that happened with Real Madrid over there in, Serie A. In soccer, where I think they were imaging the wrong part of Mbappe's legs, and Mbappe played with like a torn ACL or something. I forget the exact specifics of that, but it's in the wake of that, where team doctors are having a real bad run over the last month.
Yeah, if you get to that point where you can't trust them, Yeah, you got an issue.
Now,
Real Madrid, La Liga. Yes.
Thank you.
That's all
Serie A is Italy.
Yeah, we don't want to upset the Broncos. We don't want to upset them.
Now, here's the question. Who's the worst American medical staff?
The Washington Redskins / Commanders. I think they've done better as the Commanders. The Redskins
were bad.
Redskins were awful.
Or the Chargers or the
Chargers.
The Chargers stabbed Tyrod Taylor in the lungs. And then the Mavericks are out here looking at the wrong way.
There's some concern there.
All right, what's next?
NBA vet Malone sees special opportunity at UNC.
Again, this one is snoozeworthy. Because one of the things I like to do with headlines is put it in the negative and see how stupid it sounds. Because could you imagine Malone doesn't see chance to be part of something special at UNC? Yeah, of course he sees the chance to be part of something special. He gets to go coach where his daughter's a volleyball player, and he gets a good fat paycheck. Yeah, he wanted to keep coaching. He gets to keep coaching. I hope he sees something special, but this is such an not idiotic, but just I think a bad hire by UNC. And it is way too similar of the Bill Belichick hire, where it looks like they're going for a splash rather than sustenance. And that's what I have an issue with. There are so many great college coaches out there. Sure, I know you were spurred by Tommy Lloyd, by TJ Otzelberger. Dusty May didn't want to take your calls. I get it, where your pool was drying up, but this just felt panicked. It felt rushed. And honestly, when this first came out, I thought I was getting NBA sentelled, not actually reported on by whoever it was that covered it and broke it.
If you made me the second highest paid coach in an area that I'm not really known to be an expert in, which is college athletics, by all means, it's a special opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm underneath Bill Self in pay, which is higher than Hurley and Patino and all these other actual championship winning coaches.
6-year, $50 million deal, $8.3 million per year for a coach that has never been a head coach at the college level. And the college, it is worth noting that because the NBA is a vastly different game than the college level. The NBA, the mid-range does not exist. In college, there's still a mid-range game.
And it's also worth noting that in order for you, like I know he's a capable coach, right? That's not the issue. The issue is that you have to have a little bit more people skills when you're dealing with these collegiate athletes.
Yes.
And he has not been known to be the best people person, right? And you can't come in hot because these kids don't care about your championship with the Nuggets or any of that stuff.
Same with Bill Belichick. Yeah. They've hired two bad people skill coaches.
Yeah, and if you come in too hot, you're gonna run off your talent because you haven't earned it yet, right? Like Cal and Patino and these guys can get by being somewhat jerks. Hurley can get by being a jerk. I saw him lay his team out one time out. Yeah. You could read his lips. It was bad. But he can do that because he's won 2 national championships in recent memory, right? Like he has developed and established that clout to get away with it. I don't think Malone has that. So I'm going to watch how he comes in and how he coaches. If he comes in too hot, this could be a bad situation.
I mean, it has all the makings to be similar to what happened with UNC and Bill Belichick last year.
Didn't learn anything.
They needed to get this hire right, and they hired a huge question mark. This is high risk, high reward, I guess, because he is an NBA champion coach. Like it could work out in the positive, but to me, there are more ways for this to go poorly than for it to go successfully.
I agree.
And
Giants John Harbaugh not surprised by Dexter Lawrence's trade request. Quote, "There's business involved."
Newsworthy.
Extra, read all about it.
Kind of. I mean, sure, he's not surprised. I get that. It makes sense. But Dexter Lawrence, he's coming off of a really, really, really bad year. He could not find any sort of rhythm. I don't think he registered a sack. I think it's better off for him to find a new start somewhere. Unfortunately, they're selling low on an aging Dexter Lawrence. But this is how voluntary offseason programs began under new head coach John Harbaugh, a trade request. But look, there's so much talent along the New York Giants defensive line that I do not think that they are going to mix Dexter Lawrence all that much. There are reports, too, that they might be looking to shop Kayvon Thibodeau. So we could have a new look Giants defensive line going into next season. But John Harbaugh said that he's not going to close the door on reconciling. Wow, that was a tough word. Things with the star defensive tackle. He was asked yesterday about the prospects of Lawrence remaining a Giant. Harbaugh said, quote, "We'll find out. I think the prospects are going to be high because the Giants, speaking for the Giants, we want Dexter here. I believe Dexter wants to be here." Really? Because he just requested a trade. That would make me believe he doesn't want to be there. That's a good formula, but there's business involved.
And then the special edition news or snooze here. Doc Rivers calls Bucks locker room turmoil with quotes,
"Google me.
Check my resume. Google me."
Look,
that's newsworthy.
He pulled a quote. He direct quoted Kurt Signetti, man.
No, that is newsworthy because I didn't know Doc Rivers had developed that kind of clout where he could talk like that.
Look, I just Googled Doc Rivers. You know what came up? One-time NBA champion. You know what else came up? Countless blown playoff series.
Man. Like what?
Look, he was an NBA champion in 2008. One-time NBA coach of the year in 2000. He's named one of the top 15 coaches in NBA history. I don't know how.
Maybe it's the regular season stuff.
I guess, but he underperformed with Boston in the. He always makes the not anymore with the Bucks, but Celtics, right? Underperformed in the postseason. Clippers underperformed in the postseason.
Wait. You gotta go back further than that. He had
Magic.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
He had Dwight Howard, who was MVP, I think, at one point.
Was he with Shaq too? When did Shaq leave the Magic?
No. He was way after Shaq.
Okay.
He was Dwight Howard. I think he might have had an old Shaq when he was in Boston that time, but I don't recall that time. I try to forget that. I try to block that out of my mind. Actually,
yeah, I think when
Shaq went from like the Celtics to the Suns, but he had the big three with KG, Pierce, and Allen. Then he had the Clippers, Lob City, with Chris Paul, DeAndre, and Blake Griffin. And then he went to
Sixers.
Sixers. Yep, he had the Sixers, but he had some talent on that team.
He was the head coach when. He's the reason Ben Simmons completely fell apart. Ben Simmons was the coach when Ben Simmons decided not to take the layup.
Yeah.
And then in that offseason, Doc Rivers said something like, "I don't know if he's a point guard we can build around."
Yeah.
And Ben Simmons was a very good point guard. You just had to get the yips out of him.
And then he literally trashed the Bucks.
And then he took over for Adrian Griffin, who had like a 65% win percentage in his half a season as a head coach. Since then, Doc Rivers has a sub 50% win percentage with the Bucks. Google me.
No.
Jinx. All right, I just did.
No,
Doc.
that's such a ridiculous thing.
I just did, Doc. Let's do something in the 2020s. All right. Is that too much to ask? I just want to see something done in the last 6 years for you to say Google me. The last thing of note that you did was winning the NBA Cup in 2024. Allen doesn't even think that should be a thing. So we're taking that from the resume. Come on, man. Google me. All right, coming up, so much more in hour number 2.
Ready for a career where you can make a difference every day? The Virginia Department of Juvenile Justice is hiring juvenile correction specialists and invites you to a special hiring event on April 9th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Join us at the Virginia Public Safety Training Center in Hanover County. Bring your resume and be ready to take the next step in a meaningful career, helping guide youth toward a better future. Apply today at www.djjhires.com. The Virginia Department of Juvenile Justice is an equal opportunity employer.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN. Streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Tune in to the Enjoy the Madness basketball show Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by RVA's premier low-speed vehicle Bentelli dealer, Richmond LSV.
Golf season is here at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. Plan your next golf outing for your kids' athletic team, church group, or fundraiser online at huntinghawk.com. That's huntinghawk.com.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury?
chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.
The second hour of Fitz the Bill is brought to you by Birdie Golf. Tired of paying premium prices for big-name golf balls that overpromise and underdeliver? Step up your game with Birdie Golf. Learn more about a local company at birdiegolf.com. Change out the I's for ones, and you're there. That's B1RD1E golf.com. Birdie Golf.
You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill as we are rolling along on this midweek edition. 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch live, and you can be part of it by liking, commenting, subscribing. You can be part of it by calling or texting in 804-327-0888. Radke Insurance, phone line radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. Coming up, hour number 2, we've got Kelvin Gilliam Jr., a Highland Springs standout. He was a baller for the Springers during his high school days, began his collegiate career at Oklahoma, spent 2 years there, then transferred to Virginia Tech, where he was a stalwart along the defensive line for the Hokies the last couple of seasons. He's doing his NFL draft prep now. We'll catch up with him at about 9:15. And we've got Robert Salick of Birdie Golf joining us at 9:30 alongside Rob from Green Ferret Golf, one of the sponsors for the Birdie Classic this weekend. That's at 9:30. So keep it locked right here on Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports. But we want to keep things rolling with the Masters here to begin hour number 2 because it is Masters week. It's the day before the Masters tee off. And stay tuned right here to 1061 ESPN for leaderboard updates of the Masters tournament presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Schedule a test drive today for a street legal low-speed vehicle at richmondlsv.com. We broke it down a little bit in hour number 1. Another guy, though, I feel like we did not talk a lot about, Alan, in hour number 1, about the Masters, about potentially winning it. Cam Young. Cam Young right now at about about 23-1, 24-1, depending on where you get your odds. But the Players winner, 2024, 2025 Players winner, went on to win the Masters. So that's a nice little nugget. He has transformed his putting, gained strokes with his putter in 18 of his last 22 starts, tied 7th at Riviera, T3, Bay Hill, won the Players. Legitimate form. He is peaking heading into Augusta. 2 previous top 10s at Augusta in 23, 24. He did miss the cut last year, but based off what you said earlier, you don't want to just throw out a guy because he has a missed cut in his career at Augusta. People are going to miss the cut at Augusta. It is a very difficult course. So the fact that he has extended success at this course, I think he's a fun guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah, there's not a lot of courses you can do comps with for Augusta in my mind. I'm sure some people might disagree. I just think Augusta's kind of his own thing. But the skill set, right? Like you got to shape shots at the Players. You got to be able to have a little touch at the Players. Bay Hill, you definitely have to have a little bit of touch. Cam Young's also an underrated long ball hitter, man. Like he can really put something behind it. I like him. I've always rooted for him. it seems he's finally found the consistency in his short game. I think him being at 22-1 or in that range kind of lets you know he is peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
I would not count him out as well.
Another guy that we talked a little bit about, but I want to dive into a little bit more because he seems to be flying under the radar is Ludwig Oberg. Oberg. 19-1, 20-1, 18-1. Look, that is the fun thing about golf, to like kind of dive into the betting side of it real quick. You've got to odd shop this event because every book has different odds on it. So like if you look at DraftKings, he may be 19-1. If you look at FanDuel, he might be 22-1. If you look at BetMGM, he might be 15-1. So this is something that you actually want to odd shop if you are into sports betting. But Oberg plus 1900. He is, I guess, what you would consider a top. He's one of the favorites, but he doesn't seem to have a ton of pomp and circumstance going around him heading into it. It feels like that's being eaten up by Scotty, by Rory. Heck, Tiger is getting a lot of oxygen out of the Augusta right now.
Don't get me started on the Tiger thing, man.
Because the coverage is focused on him. The coverage right now is he's not there. We know he got arrested the other week for a DUI. Let's focus on who is
or
there.
Try to.
Exactly. Like, let's focus on who's there. And Oberg is one of the guys there. In 2 Augusta starts, he's a runner-up, and he's finished 7th, 26 years old. He's got fantastic iron play, and that is what you need at Augusta. His Sunday closing hasn't been his best, but he has a very high ceiling. And with a runner-up and a 7th in 2 of his Augusta starts, I think Oberg is a great favorite play.
So the issue with Oberg is you kind of mentioned it. He's not a Sunday player, right? You got to be a Sunday player.
He has faded a lot on Sundays.
And that was the knock on Rory. In fact, I sometimes like joke that Oberg is a younger version of Rory, just without all the amateur accolades coming in. But Oberg had a lot of success early on. I think he was one of the young guys on like the Ryder Cup team or something that showed out one time. I could be wrong about that, but he has on tour been a very consistent guy. His form is usually the better version of him. Yeah. Like you just see him collapse typically on that Sunday. Like he also has trouble finishing.
His scores will go like 68, 70, 68, 75.
Yeah.
And you're like, what happened?
And you just can't do that at the Masters.
No.
So I would keep an eye on him, but I wouldn't waste a favorite pick on him. Like if you're doing those office pools, definitely if you can get 2 picks in at his range, I would have him as one of my picks. But if I'm putting money down, I'd probably lean more towards Xander or Rahm again than Oberg, just because of that. Like I know Schauffele's has some good Sundays. I know Rahm's has some crazy Sundays.
Rahm is.
Yeah. I need to see a finisher if you're under 20-1.
I'm so hoping that we get peak John Rahm back, because when John Rahm is at his best, he is so much fun to watch. Like he is truly one of the best golfers.
When you say peak John Rahm, are we talking the club throwing, the hands on the hips, the cursing in 3 different languages?
Yes, I'm talking that. I'm talking when he beats the field by 10 strokes.
Yeah.
I'm talking when John Rahm is at his peak.
Yeah, he's had some really.
What
good
about
moments.
do you remember? It was when they came back from golf and Rahm was like on the 17th green or something on a Sunday, or was it a Saturday? He had like a 15-stroke lead, and they told him he tested positive for COVID and he had to leave the course.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that was a good time. That was a good time.
Those were the days.
Another storyline to monitor are the injuries heading into Augusta, because Rory's dealing with some back pain, as is Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa talked with the media, I think it was yesterday, because he's taking it day by day. He sustained a back injury at TPC Sawgrass last month. He withdrew before his first round at Valero last week. This was Colin Morikawa earlier this week about his back injury.
Yeah. Honest truth is, I'm taking it day by day. It's not exactly where I want to be, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the body, and I can't push it. It's been a little bit of a mental battle. I think just trying to trust with where it's at. The back actually feels fine. It's just other parts of the body, not cooperating a little bit how I want.
So Morikawa,
he sounds like Tiger.
He's unfortunately he's getting back injuries like Tiger already. Morikawa right now 31-1. He's the 11th favorite to win, but I would say stay far, far, far away from Morikawa. Paul, Hudwanvich. I apologize for his last name. I'm trying to get that one right, but he's a staff writer for PGAtour.com. Highly recommend giving him a follow. He's always got fantastic insights. He said, quote, "We continue to monitor Colin Morikawa's status. Some notable info from the range. Morikawa hit 54 balls on Monday, only a few of them with his driver. His longest went 284 yards, 171 mile an hour ball speed. Just wrapped the session, hit 34 balls. Longest was 280 yards. Clearly limited."
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all for him.
Morikawa typically over 300.
Yeah, but the strength of his game has been his iron play and approach shot. So, I mean, you don't have to be a long ball driver to win on this course. It would favor you, especially when you get to that back nine, to be more placement oriented. But yeah, if you're 40 yards less on your drive than you normally are, that's definitely an indication you're not at your best.
It's also tough because, like, say he has a good Thursday, Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
You played 36 holes. How are you feeling on hole 37 on Saturday? How are you feeling on hole 70 on Sunday if you're in contention? That's something to also keep in mind with Morikawa. Even if you don't need the great driver, but you're going to need something. And if all of a sudden your drives go to 250 because you can't put the same amount of torque into it because your back's hurt, that's going to hurt you come Sunday. And can you keep that going for 72 holes? It's a marathon.
Yeah. And, I'm not trying to omit this person. I will be honest, I just don't know a ton about them.
Okay.
But at 55-1, Chris, I think Gotterup is how you say his name.
I've never heard that name.
Yeah, you never heard that name. He's got 2 wins on tour this year.
Really?
Yeah, he has been pretty solid this year, to my understanding. Because I haven't placed a lot of bets on golfers this year, but I always keep an eye on it. And he's got 2 wins in 2026. He's been top 3. Or top 10 3 times. He's 5th in the FedEx Cup rankings. He's 11th in the world. I don't know much about his history at the Masters. I would have to do more research.
Yeah.
But that is a name and a guy who is coming in good form that I would keep an eye on. Again, some of this is not just betting. Like, people love to do these office pools for the Masters.
100%.
And if you can lock in somebody like that who's in good form and kind of under the radar amongst casual fans, I think you can find some value there. In the same way with prop bets as well.
Gotterup, he is in a group with Rahm and Oberg, teeing off at 1:08 p.m.
That's, welcome to the big leagues, kid.
It is welcome to the big leagues, kid, but it's also good because you're playing with favorites. You assume that they are going to be playing at a good pace. You think he can keep up with them. You always like to see what those groupings are, because if you're playing with high-end players, typically it's just the way it goes. Your play gets a little bit better as well. So they tee off at 1:08 p.m. tomorrow, 9:43 a.m. on Friday. The final group to tee off is Harris English, Marco Penge, and Siwoo Kim. So that's going to be fascinating. All right, let's get a break in. We'll step aside. We'll be back. Kelvin Gilliam Jr., Highland Springs standout, was a star of Virginia Tech. He's getting ready for the NFL draft. We'll catch up with him coming up next.
This golf pro tip is brought to you by the professionals at Queenfield Golf Club. If you haven't been active this winter, ease back into your golf game by hitting a bucket of balls on the driving range, and make sure to stretch before playing. Most golf injuries occur in the spring when it's a warm day and golfers try to jump into a full swing. When you're ready to hit the links this season, head over to Queenfield Golf Club. Reserve your tee time by calling 804-769-8838 or online at queenfieldgolf.com.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087. 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087 or simply visit TRA.com.
WorkZone is the one-stop shop for the hardworking man and woman. When it comes to the biggest selection, WorkZone has it. Over 15 brands of boots in all toe types, even boots for the ladies. WorkZone has jackets in stock for all seasons, from cold weather to lightweight. See why WorkZone will be your first and only stop for the best brands and comfort and workwear. And a gift card from WorkZone is always the perfect gift. Visit WorkZone on Temple Avenue, next to the Ford dealership, WorkZoneVA.com, and check them out on Instagram and Facebook.
Tune in to the Enjoy the Madness Basketball Show Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here on 106.1 ESPN, presented by RVA's premier low-speed vehicle Bentelli dealer, Richmond LSV.
We heard Wednesday is the worst day of the week, so we made Whopper Wednesday at Burger King. Flame grilled beef, crisp produce on a perfectly toasted bun, every detail stacked just right, all for only $3.99. Whether it's been weeks or years, get yourself a taste of that unmistakable flame grilled flavor on Whopper Wednesday for just $3.99. Or make it a small combo for only $6.99. Consider Wednesday fixed because you rule. Wednesdays in April only at participating U.S. restaurants. Prices vary. Tax extra. Must ask for offer or apply before checkout. Terms apply. BK.com/terms.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
We don't wait to react. We lead the conversation.
And what it means next. The Sports Huddle with Bob and Matt. Weekdays 4 to 6.
Say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause he just hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday, April 8th morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside as we are back in our home studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. As we welcome in Kelvin Gilliam Jr., former Highland Springs standout Virginia Tech defensive lineman, getting ready for the NFL draft. Now, Kelvin, good morning. How you doing? Thank you for taking some time.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. Good morning, ESPN Richmond.
I love it. How's draft prep coming for you? How are things going?
Oh, it's been great. Just finished up my pro day last week, just getting into the mix of getting into football shape and stuff like that. So it's been going really good.
Where are you doing your prep? Are you travel somewhere to do it? Or are you getting it done at Virginia Tech? How's that coming?
Yeah, so before Pro Day, I was down in X3 Orlando working with Lawrence Barnett and his staff. And now that Pro Day is concluded, I'm back in Virginia and going back and forth from Richmond. I'm from Richmond to Blacksburg. And so, Easter weekend just happened. So back in Richmond and then going back to Blacksburg for here right before the draft.
In that pro day, how'd things go for you? Did you hit what you were looking to get? Did you run the 40? Did things go the way you wanted them to go?
Oh man, I did it beyond my expectations. What I did at pro day, I think I ran 4.77 40, 159 split, 34 reps on a bench press, jump a 32 vertical, broad jump a 99. The shuttle was a 4.53, I believe, and the 3-cone shuttle, the L-cone, was a 7.4. So yeah, great numbers I put up that day.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I mean, from a 40 perspective, what you played a lot at the defensive tackle spot this last season, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty fast time for a defensive tackle this past season there, Kelvin. I want to know, coming off of this last year with Virginia Tech, how would you grade out your performance on the field? How do you think you did in your final year of eligibility to set you up for the NFL?
Yeah, I think I did a great job. But what set me apart is what Main Lad did off the field. And that's, taking the captain role. Of course, we had some setbacks during the season and stuff. But, man, it just speaks volumes to, how to handle adversity through trying times and stuff like that. So I'll definitely give myself a great grade out and stuff like that, especially on the field of what I've done, game in and game out. So, yeah, I think it went a really good season.
And as you talk with coaches, decision makers, things like that at your pro day and just kind of throughout, what is it about your game that they like?
Yeah, the versatility of being defensive lineman. I mean, all my time in college, I think I played on a different defense, each year and stuff like that. So, being able to play the zero technique, being able to play a shade, 2 wide, 3, I played it all across the line. And now that I showed that, I'm just not, a defensive tackle that I could, with my 40 running a 4.77, I could play all across the defensive line, put me, on the edge, put me, as a 4 route, anywhere across the defensive line. I think that speaks volumes. That's my versatility.
Kelvin Gilliam, former Highland Springs standout Virginia Tech defensive lineman, joining us on this Wednesday morning. And Kelvin, going back to your high school days, from high school to Oklahoma to Virginia Tech, you've been in some high quality programs, but specifically with Highland Springs, they have put out a ton of NFL talent over the last decade or so. How did growing up in that environment shape you as a player, as a person, and how did it prepare you for the moment that you find yourself in now?
Yeah, I'll say, I talk about this all the time, that Highland Springs has, such a great group of men coaching there. It's not just the football aspect under. They're really just setting you up for life and setting you up how to be a man in this day and age and stuff. So I could give, countless stories of how, even in the culture, even in the adversity that Coach Johnson's put us through, later down the line was setting us up for success. I mean, the biggest thing, and I tell this to people all the times, that Coach Jay will always say, I mean, especially in the Varga way, that, nobody cares how you feel. Nobody cares when you wake up in the morning that you're tired, that you're sore, that, you broke up with your girlfriend last night or something. No, it's business to handle day in and day out. So that's one of the biggest things that I took about it. Like, the most thing I said even last year, that this life that we live, the world that we live in, is not about just sunshines and rainbows and, getting up and, everything's perfect. No, it's about pushing through something that you're going through. Or as I say, that, that just pushing through adversity or something that you're dealing with. So.
Were you the pregame speech guy for the defensive line? Because I'm ready to run through a brick wall after that one.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely last year was one of my, years of just public speaking and, speaking from the team. Because as you know that, Coach Pride got fired in week 3 and stuff. So somebody had to be that voice in the locker room. And for me, I mean, you can say my bad. Sometimes I don't care what I say out of my mouth and stuff like that, because what I'm going to say is something that somebody might need to hear, and it might be in a different form that they're not used to hearing all the time and stuff. So
going through that this season with your coach being fired, with Pry being fired in week 3, how'd the season kind of progress for you? What'd you learn about yourself? Because that puts you in a spot of adversity that I don't think a lot of college players really have to endure.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I say about that is definitely, one of my years that, you face adversity, because I didn't ask for that. It's my senior season. You think I'm asking for my head coach to be fired at week 3? But what I noticed about myself is that everything happens for a reason in this life. And if you just trust God and you put all your stuff into that, I mean, you could, Coach Price my defensive line was saying at the end of the season, you went in and walked in that building and thought, we was going through what we're going through, because that's the environment. That's who I am and stuff like that. I don't walk around, with my head, down and, worrying about, what's going to come next or what's going to, happen after that. No, I know that, if I got through something before, then I'm definitely going to get through something again. And it's crazy because I was reading something, some, reel or something like that. And it said, picture life as a heart monitor and stuff like that. That heartbeats, go up and down. And that's life right now. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. But, when that hop stops and that's flat line, and then you see that, that means death. Well, that's what you mean. If you think that everything is always going good, or in the other case, everything always going bad, I mean, that just symbolizes, you're dead. But if you understand how life works, and that you have ups, and then you have your downs, and then you really high at one moment, you really low at another moment. You understand that it's all about a process. And I feel like me personally, that's what I do my best as, going up that hill, going up, not seeing what the other side's in there, but actually going through the grind of whatever it is in life.
I love it. Kelvin Gilliam Jr., former Highland Springs standout, Virginia Tech defensive lineman this past couple of seasons, getting ready for the NFL draft, joining us this Wednesday morning. And Kelvin, has there been something you've been working on this offseason to get better at? Anything specific that you've been focusing in on during your NFL draft prep?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I would definitely say speed and endurance and stuff, because that's the best thing in the NFL. The best players stay in shape, so that's what I'm doing, so I can play, still have that motor and still play however many snaps I'm going to be blessed with in the National Football League. So I'll say that's something I'm definitely working with, and definitely, of course, one of my strong suits is being a run defender, but also, having pass rush tools. And I'll say working on a bunch of pass rush combinations and stuff, so no matter what down the distance, I'm ready for any situation.
This past season, what was the toughest matchup situation you faced off against in a game, and how did it help you get better?
Yeah, I would definitely say that first few weeks of the season.
May have lost
Vanderbilt game. Hello?
There you go. Sorry, what were you saying, Kelvin?
You get me? I was saying, that first few weeks of the season, going from, a tough loss to South Carolina, a tough loss to Vanderbilt. And then, I remember being in the locker room saying that, change is about to come, regardless of that's insanity. Doing the same thing over and again and still getting the same results. And then I'll say, definitely their ODU and stuff. And, kudos to all those kids. They prepared well. They did what we had to do, and then obviously we did and stuff. But during those few weeks, it was just a week-to-week thing and stuff. And, I had fun with it each and every game. I mean, the Miami game was a good game. The Florida State game, even though I got hurt throughout the game and stuff. I mean, all those games, I just feel like it's just writing a different story, a different chapter in my book than what I'm doing in my football career.
I love it. And last question here for you, Kelvin. Highland Springs, Virginia Tech, a lot of passionate fans. They're all pulling for you. But what does it mean to go out, represent Virginia, represent the 804, and do all of that?
Yeah, it means a bunch to me. I mean, I speak with so many guys across the country. I mean, guys from Texas, California, all across the world. I just want to, harp on how good Virginia football is and stuff, because people don't know across the country. So I'm encouraging these young guys, go out, go to these different, go to these different college camps, go out to these different, events that they have and show them, what we have here in this state of Virginia and stuff. I was just talking to some of my old teammates saying that, we had a pipeline in Virginia that, everybody was going through, sort of have like Texas guys goes to, and just, having a pipeline, a school that everybody go to, you wouldn't know in history, where Virginia football would be and stuff like that. So I'm just super excited, for the opportunities that come in my way, the blessings that's coming my way and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good one.
Kelvin, appreciate your time. Good luck throughout your entire process. Enjoy going from Richmond to Blacksburg, getting ready for the NFL draft and everything that's to come here in the near future. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Yes, sir. You too.
Of course. There goes Kelvin Gilliam Jr., former Highland Springs standout, Virginia Tech defensive lineman, going through NFL draft prep, getting ready to potentially hear his name called, see where he goes, and preparing for that next opportunity after a really, really good Virginia Tech career. Of course, his great Highland Springs career, was one of the top recruits coming out of Highland Springs, spent 2 years at Oklahoma, then his last 3 years at Virginia Tech, and really grew each and every year, played in and started every game, and was kind of an anchor along that defensive line right there in the middle. So excited to see Kelvin and what goes next with him in his NFL and football journey. All right, let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside. We'll be back with Robert Salick of Birdie Golf, as well as Rob from Green Ferret Golf. They'll be joining us to talk about the upcoming Birdie Classic this Saturday. That's coming up next on Fitz the Bill.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at Lowe's.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
You've said it before. This will only take a second. Just a quick glance. A fast reply. But on the road, seconds don't wait for you. They decide everything. Who stops, who doesn't, who makes it home. So next time your phone lights up, ask yourself, is this distraction worth a ticket or even a life? Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NetSide.
Get the latest update on Henrico County sports tournaments, happenings, and future events on ESPN Richmond's newest segment, the Henrico Huddle. Join Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer as he joins Bob Black on the Sports Huddle. For more information on Henrico Sports and Event Center calendar, visit online at henricosea.com or tune in to the last Wednesday of each month for the Henrico Huddle on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
This is advertising material. Medical mistakes can devastate families. When doctors fail to provide the care you deserve, Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys stand ready to fight for justice. They recovered over $2 billion for their clients injured by negligence, surgical errors, and misdiagnoses. They take on powerful hospitals and their insurance companies, so you don't have to, but time is limited. Call now for a free consultation. No fees unless they win your case. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys, 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
Masters Tournament PGA Leaderboard updates live on 106.1 ESPN. Presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Street legal, low-speed vehicles. Schedule a test drive today at richmondlsv.com.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best-kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, Richmond, this is Joe Simpson. There's only one place in the 804 to stay up to date on all things Atlanta Braves, and that's 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Wednesday morning, April 8th, midweek edition. Live from the studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside, as we've got Robert Salick from Birdie Golf joining us, as well as Rob, the owner of Green Ferret Golf, one of the sponsors for the Birdie Classic this weekend. Rob, how are you guys doing? Rob Squared is what I'm going to call this segment. How are you guys doing on this Wednesday morning?
Doing awesome, Jack. Thank you.
Of course.
I like the term double R. I think that
R
sounds really good.
Maybe I'll sprinkle one of each in as we're rolling through here this morning. But I want to start here, Robert, Birdie Golf. Rob, how are final preparations coming for the Birdie Classic this weekend?
Everything is coming along great. We're doing a couple final touch-ups at the course. We will be setting up Friday afternoon, getting the tee boxes all dressed up and ready to go.
I love it. Rob, owner of Green Ferret Golf, we'll go over there to you. Tell us a little bit about Green Ferret Golf. You guys are one of the sponsors for the event. Tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on.
Well, thanks. We're an apparel company. We kind of got our name based off the fact that a ferret is a lost golf term for a hole out for par or better, not using your putter. Also kind of came around when Scotty Scheffler was just knocking the ball in from the middle of the fairway for forever. So it just was a nice little part of timing. But we hooked up with Robert and through a mutual friend of ours, the Sliceaholics group on TikTok. And It was one of those things that just through conversations, we realized that there were a lot of things in common between our two companies and our support for mental health advocacy that just made it a very natural fit to sponsor this outing.
What made you want to start a golf apparel brand?
Honestly, I was a little bit bored. I was in technology, and I had a technology company that it just didn't go the way that it was supposed to go. And I was doing a charity outing for our local high school with a bunch of my friends, and we were just chatting on the tee box about some of the margins in apparel. And at that time, I went, okay, great. To stay in golf for the rest of my life, I know what I want to do now. I woke up in the middle of the night with the idea for the company. I was working with my little sister on trying to get through the naming on it. My wife came down walked down the stairs. I was in my home office, and she goes, "Hey, did your ferret fall off the wheel again?" And it just, all the things kind of fit into place. Unfortunately, guys, through the passing of my little sister almost immediately after we founded, I realized that instead of using those margins to just make it an easy, comfortable life for the rest of my life, I could give back to mental health organizations because I needed support after that event and wouldn't have had it without the right people. So what turned into a lifelong passion for golf and me going, hey, maybe I can do something in this industry, has turned into a way that we can give back and help support those when they need help the most.
Man, that is an awesome mission. That is some great stuff that you guys are doing. Robert, on the Birdie Golf side, what was it about Green Ferret Golf that made you want to team up with them and get them involved in the Birdie Classic?
For me, it was, to be honest, the first time that we talked, just kind of seeing where he was mentally and what his vision was, not only for his brand, but just in general. The vibe for me is kind of what made me say, hey, you should be a part of this. Something that we're doing it's going to be great. And I think you would fit perfectly with it.
I love it. Now, Rob, with the Birdie Classic coming up on Saturday, walk us through what the day is going to look like out at Stonehouse Golf Club when everything tees off on Saturday.
So we have a lot of golfers that are going to be here playing Friday, kind of testing the course, getting their eyes on it. But Saturday, it's basically going to start. We'll have registration tables, we'll have prize tables, raffle tables. We'll have everything set up so everybody can see, what's in store. Then we'll do our, announcement in the morning. Kind of introduce not only myself but some golfers, and then the Pro Long Drive champion that will be there. And then we will go ahead and kick off the tournament. And what we will do is after your 9 holes at the turn, you'll come back to the clubhouse. You'll grab your sponsored Papa John's slices of pizza. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. And then we'll get on the back 9. And then once we are done with that, we will collect all cards. We will do closing announcements, announce winners, prizes, and all that great stuff. And, this is just going to be something very, very fun for everybody to do. And, great footage and great content.
I love it. Is registration still open? How can people sign up if it is?
So registration is open. It closes Thursday, which is tomorrow. It is $110. You can register by contacting myself at robertstalick@gmail.com or contact Stonehouse directly and speak with Adam. Our flyer is out there. You can scan the QR code as well. But those are the immediate ways to register. Now, if you do come late, if you try to register on Friday, registration will be closed. We will make an exception, but late registration will be $150.
Good to know. Good to know. Rob from Green Ferret, why'd you decide to team up, work with Birdie Golf, become a sponsor of the Birdie Classic? What was it about what he was doing over there with Birdie Golf?
Well, it was one, I absolutely, again, like Blue said, the conversation that we had at the onset, his spirit just spoke to me. Who he is as a human being, his hustle, his drive, his desire, the fact that we're both small brands in a big ocean of providers, both on the golf ball side, on the apparel side. We're two guys that are trying to make an impact inside of the golf community, and we're trying to do it in a positive direction. So, in all of my conversations, I speak to a lot of folks. I talk to a lot of different brands, and every once in a while, I get that feeling where it's like, hey, yeah, they've got it great, but there's just no way that I feel that a collaboration would go. But it's just, there's so many things about Robert as a human being and who he is, and the follow-up and the way that he's kind of treated us as a sponsor. I felt like family right away. And, those are just the intangibles in a world of cutthroat business that just not everybody brings to the table. So, ultimately it was an introduction through our friend Daniel and his, who goes by Sliceaholics on TikTok. He introduced the two of us. And then I really got involved when I found out that one of the guys couldn't make it for his team. And he called me. He's like, hey, I know it's a drive, but man, I'd love to get out and play with you. I love your gear. You sent me a couple things. And so it just kind of fell into place. I mean, the only thing that I have to really kind of complain about is I'm watching a couple bets for this weekend, and I don't know how much my attention is going to be on my golf game, depending on how certain guys play on Saturday. So
yeah, that's exactly right. You've got to have some multitasking going on. You got to have it up while you're in the cart, so you don't miss anything. So you can get out, you take your swing real quick, and keep it tracking there in the cart.
Yeah, my cousin is actually naval. He's in the Navy, just down the road. He called me up and was like, "Hey, can I just come out and hang out with you? I haven't seen you in a couple of years. Can I just come and hang?" And I was like, "Absolutely, you can. We'll make it work." But I'm going to tell you, I need somebody that you're going to get put to work. You're going to be telling me what's going on the Masters. You are definitely going to be doing the filming that I don't like to do, because for a guy who runs a company and is an extrovert, I just have a hard time turning that camera around and doing the content side of this business. So yeah, we're going to have a naval officer running around like a plebe for Saturday in our group, but he'll keep everybody in the loop as to who's where on the leaderboard.
That's perfect. And Robert here, what are you most excited about for Saturday?
I'm excited that it's here. I'm excited to play. Birdie Golf come on top. Out of this event, if you guys don't know, Google me. I had to do it, guys. I had to do it.
All right, Mike. No, wait. All right, me. Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers saying Google me the other day. All right, Kurt Signetti. I like it.
I had to do it. You guys are talking about it. Y'all, Google me. Google Birdie Golf. No, all jokes aside, I'm just looking forward to everybody having a really good time and Birdie Golf coming on top. One thing I will mention, at registration table, you'll be receiving a purple first annual Birdie Classic T-shirt with Ferret Golf on the backside. So that is one thing we've implemented. So you guys will get a free T-shirt, and the Masters will be on all the TVs at the clubhouse.
I love it.
Nobody's gonna miss it, and just come out and have a good time.
Yeah, we'll keep it locked on there. Guys, thank you so much for taking some time out of your Wednesday. I'm pumped for Saturday. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week getting ready for it.
All right,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time today, guys, and safe travels to everybody coming to the course.
Yeah, I love it. Appreciate you guys for taking some time. There goes Robert Salick of Birdie Golf, Rob, owner of Green Ferret Golf as well. You can learn more about both at B1RD1E. Birdie Golf and greenferretgolf.com as well. Really appreciate their time. Let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more Fits the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer joins Bob Black for the Henrico Huddle, ESPN Richmond's newest monthly feature.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Tune in to the Enjoy the Madness basketball show Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here on 106.1 ESPN, presented by RVA's premier low-speed vehicle Bentelli dealer, Richmond LSV.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
This is advertising material. Our highways have become hunting grounds. The Predators, 18-wheelers, 80,000-pound killing machines sharing the road with your family. A semi-truck doesn't need to be speeding to destroy your life. At just 30 miles per hour, a fully loaded big rig can crush a car like a soda can. Your airbags, your seatbelts, they weren't built for that. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys knows trucking companies cut corners on maintenance, push drivers past legal limits, and hire underqualified operators. You shouldn't pay the price. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, call Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. You're not just fighting a driver, you're fighting billion-dollar corporations with an army of lawyers. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys have thrived over the years by taking on the trucking industry. They fight harder, they win bigger. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys is on your side. One call is all it takes. No cost, no risk. And they don't get paid until you do. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law. They fight for you. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George, licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510. This is advertising material.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Oh, another free one. Thanks, dog. You always hook me up.
Another hour of the fun stuff on deck.
Another one of your nonsensical rambling stories.
And another round for everyone on me. I don't want to hear another peep. Okay, all right, here's another one.
Before we get to another thing, the IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series is coming to Virginia Motorsports Park in Dinwiddie this Thursday through Saturday. That's tomorrow through Saturday. And we are giving away some 4-packs of tickets. Call or text in now, 804-327-0888 to enter in to win a 4-pack of tickets. The IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series has Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Mod, live music, bull riding, a full weekend of action right here in our backyard at the Virginia Motorsports Park in Dinwiddie. You can call or text in now to enter to win a 4-pack of tickets, 804-327-0888. Also, keep it locked right here to 106.1 ESPN Richmond throughout the day. Specifically, I'll give you a little hint between 4 and 6 p.m. For a couple more chances to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Outlaw Nitro Series at Virginia Motorsports Park in Dinwiddie starting tomorrow. The tickets are good through Saturday. You don't want to miss it. 804-327-0888. Second caller or texter in wins a 4-pack of tickets. Fun for the whole family. The IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series, Thursday through Saturday. Another thing that I want to get off my chest, now that we are about a couple of weeks into the old baseball season, MLB is underway. We've got ABS, the Ball Strike Challenge system, and I love it. I want to know how you feel about it. Call or text in on your thoughts, because ABS seems to be a pretty divisive thing so far. And Alan, I have absolutely loved the new challenge system. I think it adds an intrigue to the game. I think it makes things fun. I think it is hilarious to see a batter challenge a ball 4 call and end up walking halfway down the first baseline while the challenge is going on because they're that certain in it so far. There's already been 653 attempts. 54% of those attempts have been overturned. Batters are not very good at challenging. They're sub 50% at 48%. And pitchers are 59% in getting the calls overturned, and pitchers and catchers.
Oh, I would like to see the catchers have their own bracket because I think the catchers are pretty good. But they also are a little too overconfident in how they frame things. Batters definitely, batters are ridiculous.
I got it here for you. Catchers are at 59%.
Okay, that makes sense. Like I've seen some good calls by catchers.
So catchers have started, I guess. They began the challenge process 327 times. When you put pitchers in, pitchers have done it just 14 times. Pitchers are 50%, 7 overturned, 7 confirmed, and then catchers are at 59%.
That's pretty good. That pitchers aren't complaining that much. I think that's what you're looking for.
I think they're keeping it in the hands of their catcher.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, batters are
the funniest one I've seen so far was Ozzy Albies. He challenged the ball 4 that was called a strike 3. And like he just took his gear off and was like you could see him mouthing like, this is ridiculous. And he was like already on first. Like, get out of here, man.
Rosarena's done that.
Yeah. I think CB Buckner's been the victim of the new Angel Hernandez. I think if Angel was still around, we would all see how bad he is. CB's had some that are like 2-3 inches off the plate, which is unacceptable.
It's so funny to me, CB Buckner. He had a game where I think he was challenged 8 times. He lost 6 of them. 2 of them were back-to-back challenges that he lost. And it's funny because he is by far the worst, and that makes the headlines, right? CB Buckner loses 75% of challenges. But meanwhile, umps are pretty good at it.
Yeah, no.
Like umps are hitting them at a pretty solid rate.
Have you seen, I can't remember, the young pitcher for the Mets? Have you seen the break on his like sweeper?
No.
It's ridiculous. It starts on, like, if you're a right-handed batter, it starts at your back and it sweeps literally across the plate almost like 5-6 inches. To call that going at the velocity that is going is difficult, right? Some of these two-seamers and cutters are moving so much. I don't fault umpires for being off on the black, right? Like, that's difficult. It's the times where we've seen the ball's literally down the middle of the plate and they're calling it a ball. Like those types of, or it's 3 inches, 4 inches into the other box and you're calling it a strike.
Yeah.
Or it's over the batter's freaking hands and you're calling, which is an exaggeration, but it's those ones that you really shouldn't be missing that I'm most concerned about. And I don't think ABS is a bad thing. I think we want it to be as accurate as possible. I also have seen the Braves benefit from ABS keeping bats alive, and then we just absolutely ran through the Diamondbacks pitching staff after that, which would have ended on bad calls if not for ABS.
See, that's what I love about it. It is I love the fact of that. Like it makes it so much fun. I want you to guess which 2 teams have challenged the most when they are in the batter's box.
Oh, when they're in the batter's box, it's gotta be the Yankees.
Yankees are number 2.
Okay.
Yankees have challenged 18 calls this season. They are hitting them at a 50% clip. Guess who's number 1?
It's so ridiculous. Number 1.
I don't know if you're going to get this. This is a tough one.
American League or National League? Give me a slight hit.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Padres?
No. Twins.
What?
Yeah, I know.
That is surprising. I was thinking of the more arrogant players like Tatis Machado. I was gonna maybe say Phillies with like Bryce Harper in them.
8.9% of calls they challenge. Highest rate in the league. Yankees, of course, are number 2.
They probably strike out a lot too.
Number 3 in terms of challenge rate are the Atlanta Braves. And they have not done all that well. They are one of the worst teams at challenging calls. They've only won 4 of their 12 challenges.
You know what? Hey, it's a volume game, man. Keep shooting.
Truly. And the Marlins do it the most as the fielding team.
We just want the Marlins off the field.
Not Sandy Alcantara. We wanted him off the field. He went 8 1/3, I think, yesterday, scoreless, and they pulled him. And I think he had only gone 95 pitches.
I don't understand why Sandy's still there.
I don't either.
But kudos to them for not just giving him away like they've done with players in the past. But him and his agent need to figure something out. He is wasting away down there.
He's such a good pitcher.
Yeah.
He has made me a lot of money over the years.
Get out of our division. That'd be nice.
But you mentioned Ozzie Albies earlier. He was involved in in a little fracas yesterday with the Braves and the Angels, and not really involved. He was there to try and help break it up. But yesterday, the Braves and the Angels got in a little bit of a fracas on the field. Jorge Solar charged the mound, and things got a little heated.
I'm so perplexed by that, even so much so that when you told me about it, because I think I went to bed last night early, but when you told me about it, I was like, so like Jorge Solar? I was thinking, is there another Solar?
I've got to be honest. Jorge Solar is a little bit of an idiot because he let the ball go back to Lopez, the pitcher of the Braves. He didn't charge him soon enough because Lopez had the ball, and then Lopez used the ball
and hit him with it?
Hit him in the helmet with the ball.
I would imagine.
Come on, Solar. You have to rush him earlier. You can't let him get a weapon.
I mean, if you got the ball in your hand too, or in your glove, you might smack him with the glove too. Like anything you can do to throw him off balance.
Although Solar got a couple good licks in, Lopez didn't really get a good lick in.
Well, here's the thing, and you're probably not familiar with the history of Solar and the Braves, but like we owe Solar. He's one of our guys. We won the World Series because of him.
I know.
And the majority of our core group of members are still on that team. So when he rushes Lopez, I'm sorry, Lopez, you are a teammate, but you're not our brother, right? Like this is family that's coming after you. It was probably very confusing for guys because we're not gonna fight. We're not gonna fight Solar.
He ended up getting tackled by the Braves.
Yeah, probably to keep him calm.
The coaches like picked him up by the legs and like kind of like
take them away.
Ground.
Yeah,
like all right, we're gonna get rid of this.
We don't want to fight. And I would call him iconic because of that World Series, not in the sense of like Chipper Jones, but like his big moment is still one that gets replayed from time to time. It's a strange scenario where we're fighting a player that means a lot to the organization. Kobe from Classic Rock said it happens all the time in hockey, but I can't recall a time in baseball in recent memory where somebody who meant so much to a championship winning team ended up fighting like his core group of teammates at that time.
I wonder if there's any like bad blood between Reynaldo Lopez and Jorge Solar, because
I mean he got hit like I think in that game.
They weren't on the same, like Lopez is a newer addition to the Braves. I think they were teammates for 1 year, was it? Because Solar was on the Braves in 24, and that's when Lopez joined the team. So they may have kind of crossed paths, but also batters and pitchers are in just completely different worlds. So I wonder if there's some bad blood between them even prior to that game, because he got hit and then he kind of threw it over his head on the second one, and that's when Solar decided to charge. There's got to be something else there, though, because like, why else are you hitting him?
As a former plate crowder, I got hit a lot.
You did that on purpose though, because you were crowding the plate,
and it wasn't a big issue. But if I'm like I got hit, if I back up and you still throw it in like near my face, I'm probably gonna have some words or something. I
take some extra steps.
I don't fault Soler for what he did. I just know that it's the most awkward scenario you could possibly come up with.
That's fair.
Yeah, like him charging. It'd be like Shohei charging the Angels. Like, what do you do in that situation?
It's like Shohei throwing in on Trout.
Yeah.
And then Trout charging Shohei. It's that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's weird. Like, stop it, both of you.
Although Trout would have to be playing in baseball games for that to actually happen.
He got hurt already.
He got hurt again, right?
Oh yeah. Man.
We were watching the highlights in Indy one of the nights, and I was like, oh, there it is. Trout got hurt again.
My guy could be when man. If he could just stay healthy.
You know what they say? Best ability is what? Availability.
I know. Baseball's been good though. When all things considered, early in the season, like the flow's been good. Hasn't been a ton of drama. I will say that the Giants is an interesting storyline because they took a chance on bringing in that coach from Tennessee, and it hasn't started that well for them. The Red Sox, the team I picked, the surprise, hasn't started all that hot either. And we're only a couple weeks in, so things can change quickly. But the Giants situation, I wonder how long of a leash he's going to get, being that they took such a risk.
He's got to get a pretty long leash. But he has the worst run differential in the National League.
That's the thing. It isn't looking like he has control over the on the field stuff.
I mean, there's a reason it never been done before. He's the first ever college coach to get hired immediately into baseball, into MLB, with no prior MLB experience whatsoever.
Yeah. Something that we underrate, I think, sometimes.
4-8, minus 21 run differential, by far the worst in the NL. If you include the AL, though, the AL's got some stinkers. Blue Jays right now, they've got the second worst run differential in the AL at minus 23. The worst, you guessed it, the Chicago White Sox. Yet the Chicago White Sox and Detroit Tigers both are tied early on in the season with a 4-7 record. But the Tigers' 4-7 record comes with a +1 run differential. Make that make sense.
You're the numbers guy.
It's weird. It's weird. You have to. That's the White Sox are just bad, but we'll dive into that more. Keep it locked right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond at 4. We are back live from the capital of the Commonwealth with the new Sports Huddle with Bob and Matt. We are where Richmond talks sports, and we'll talk sports tomorrow with you. Same time, same place, 8 a.m. It's the Bill.
Your home